Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're looking at a 2008 Toyota Sienta. This one here bought from auction for export over to Canada. My first time seeing one of these vehicles, and it's got a whole bunch of surprises. I really enjoyed looking over this car. This one here also built on the same platform as our company car, the Toyota BB, and so it's got a lot of similarities, but this is a three-row, well, kind of like a 2+2 or 2+1 three-row. Has the same 1.5 liter twin cam engine, known to be one of the most reliable engines of recent history with Toyota. These are the same engines that were in the second generation Toyota Prius, and no timing belt, only a timing chain, which at that time was kind of rare, but more reliable than a timing belt. Not a lot of power. This 1.5 puts out 108 horsepower, but extremely reliable. And in this case here, four-wheel drive, so it's not going to be the fastest. You know, this is a little bit heavier than the BB, especially with the four-wheel drive. Mine is just a two-wheel drive. But anyway, let me just shut the engine off for the rest of the review. This car has super low mileage. Check this out. It's a 15-year-old vehicle, 18,000 original kilometers. That's like just a little over 1,000 kilometers per year. Oh, and it feels so fresh and nice. I'll take that key out. Nothing wrong with the engine at all. Everything looks fine. We've had our BB for coming on 10 years now. All we've done is oil changes. Literally all we've done. It's amazing. Now I'll just close this off. And our BB is of the same generation as this. I think ours is like a 2006 or something. So very close to the same, or maybe a 2004. I actually don't know. Close this off. Quick look at the car. Now I think this is pretty much like, if you don't want a minivan, this is as good as you can get for a family, because you've got the room for it, lots of cargo room, lots of great use of space inside, sliding doors on the rear on a car that's not a van size, and that's fantastic. Like, if you've had kids, you let them open a door outwards and it's going to hit another vehicle super easily. That's a lifesaver. And it's in a vehicle that otherwise gets much better fuel economy than a van, but still has a lot of the same usable space inside because of the boxy shape of it. It's very uniquely Japanese, and because this isn't available in Canada, nothing even remotely like this is available in Canada, it's really going to stand out as something unique and cool. So here's the auction inspection sheet. Before I get into the review, I'm going to go ahead and translate this. It's a 2008 Sienta X Limited, auction grade 4, with an interior B and an exterior C. Now, I think they're being a bit harsh on the exterior. I think it's a little bit better than that, and I'll show you as we go around. 17,950 kilometers means there's a whole lot of life left in this, and the vehicle feels very much newer and fresher than you would think, and this is because of the low mileage, I would think. Automatic transmission. Sales points here are right side power sliding door, which is true. They only have the power sliding door on the one side, which is a little bit weird, but it is nice to have it if it's only on the one side or not. And I'll come back to the interior in a second. And one of my favorite things about this is the interior. And this segment here in Japan, a lot of the manufacturers always wanted to have little gimmicks or something inside to make them a little bit better than the competition. And because of that, like, it feels like Japanese sports cars of the 90s, where, you know, power and sportiness and lap times, you know, that was really highly competitive. Interiors were highly competitive during this segment as well. So anyways, has a rear view monitor, corner sensors, beep, 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 kind of things. And then toll collection box on here, aero parts on it. The report here from the auction inspector says windshield rock chip, which is nothing I really worry about too much. Interior scratched and dirty. Exterior has paint fade. Now, the paint fade on it, I believe, is mostly only on the rear spoiler. Maybe on the roof a little bit, but the roof is high enough that you're not really going to notice it. And underside surface rust, it looks perfectly good to me. And aftermarket wheels on it. The body here has A3 on the front bumper and A3 on the side skirt, and I'll show those in a second. But first, we're going to take you for a trip around it. And you'll notice I'm not at the typical location. We're actually at the port. This one was accidentally sent to the port instead of our lot. And then the transport company lost the car. And we were like, hey, where's the car? And they're like, oh, here it is. And they gave it to us. Doesn't happen all the time, but we bought this probably about a month ago. So lead time on this is way longer than it usually is. So my apologies for that. Okay, I love a boxy car because use of space is really nice. You get a nice small footprint, easy to drive vehicle. And for a lot of people that matters. Like, I'm okay driving pretty much anything, but the more convenient it is to see out of, like, the more comfortable you feel driving it. And that goes a long way, especially if you drive in heavy traffic or, like, you have a really tight parking spot, which is pretty common here in Japan. Okay, it has kind of cute front looks. You know, say what you will. Some people like cute cars, some people don't. If you don't like cute cars, don't buy this one, and you'll be fine. You don't have to go, wow, that looks stupid. A little bit of fade on the headlights on both of them. Not too bad. And then the A3 on the front bumper. Down here, you can see some. All throughout the bottom side, it's like bottomed out. And then down here, probably the most visible because it's gone down right to the bumper there. A little bit foggy fog lights. Okay. And then the body besides that, it's really only this. Really, really big scrape on the side skirt. Should be pretty easy to handle. You can, remove this, repaint it. You get some color match paint. You can probably even do that with a spray paint. But then after that, fenders, beautiful. Bumper, beautiful. Hood, beautiful. Doors, they're huge. These doors are giant, but beautiful. They kind of look like they have scratches, but it's not. There's just this white substance that looks like scratches in a few places. But beautiful, 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 beautiful. And yeah, sliding doors, that's going to save you, and the cars that you park next to if you've got kids. Four-wheel drive, a lot of the vehicles here in Japan come in four-wheel drive as an option because it's a country that has been made out of volcanoes, so it is a very hilly country. I guess a lot of people don't really realize that. And some roads you literally need a four-wheel drive to drive up. And so this one's going to Canada. It's going to be a good year-round vehicle because Canada also, in most areas, gets a lot of snow. Okay, the tires here, I'm not a big fan of the wheels. Probably want to get those changed. They're 175/70 R14. They come from 2020. They're legal in Canada because they have the right compliance labels on them. And they have a decent amount of tread, so you can continue using them. But I don't know. If I had a car like this in Canada, you're driving a lot of attention to you with this car. And as a result, you kind of maybe want to have a little bit flashier wheels. I don't know. To each their own. Also, if you want to lower it, it uses the same lowering kit as like the Echo hatchback that we had in Canada. Now open up the back here. So bottom to top, it's really tall. So you can stack stuff up. If you guys know about the Fun Cargo, one of the funniest car names ever, it's a very similar vehicle to this. That one doesn't have sliding doors though. Fun Cargo is like a Echo hatchback tall version and slightly longer. And then, yeah, there's a set of seats in the back here that come out from underneath the other seats. They're just little jump seats. That's why I said it's kind of like a 2+ or a 4+2 seater. And I'll show you later on how those work. It's not super easy to do while also holding a camera, but I'll show you how it's done. So I'll come back to this. Just in the back, you get some cup holders, one on either side. And then not a lot else. Now, if you aren't using those seats, that's a lot of space in there. You can almost fit, 6 IKEA trips or Costco trips. Into the center here. And so these seats here are in the full back position, giving you lots and lots of room. So adults can very easily fit inside here. The fabrics are all really nice and clean. The carpets are nice and clean. What's this? It's a pull thing. Oh, weird. What's going on? There's like a hiding cubby. Wow. Okay, I had no idea that there was a little hidden cubby in there. It just got cooler. Remember what I was saying about how they wanted to make the gimmicky and coolest little thing? That's a very good example of what I'm talking about. Like the table that's in the CRV. I'll put that in later. If you take it out, you get raw metal. Okay, cool. And yeah, these seats slide forward and back. And if you want the maximum amount of cargo capacity, they actually like slide minivan style like that, giving you just that extra bit more space. So I'll just slide this back into position real quick here. Okay, and then the front, huge doors, very easy to get in and out of, especially as you get older. You know, not everyone on this channel is looking for a sports car or camper, even though that's what it seems like. If you are looking for something easy to get in and out of, the seats are a great height, very easy to swing your legs in, and so works very well for the elderly or the not so elderly that feel like they're the elderly. Power sliding door, I'll show you that. And then gorgeously clean carpets that say Sienta on them. Steering wheel is pretty basic. Everything's actually pretty basic here. We have the Navi unit, but the AC controls are all physical dials. You can just, you know, switch these to what you want. Very, very easy and intuitive, and you can do it without glancing away from the steering wheel. Shifting is all fine. Single cup holder here. And then a second cup holder here, which is a little bit weird. You can actually make that go down. I'm not sure what the idea was with that, but kind of weird. A little tray to put things, and then this opens to give you a glove box-like area. This is no smoking. I guess that's just an ashtray for people who don't like smoking. Not like they need one, but cars in the future after this, you know, they didn't even come with ashtrays. That's just a remnant of the past. And then some sort of a weird little console thing that it looks like you can optionally have some sort of table or something there. Not really sure. Like in my BB, this is off to the center, which is a little bit weird at first, but you get used to it for sure. And then your corner sensor is an optional extra, so it's not integrated into the dashboard the same way as some cars are. Now check this out. It comes with, for one, your visors have holes in them, which is a little bit weird, and a little a mirror that comes off the side. But check this out. There's cubbies up here. I'll just show you from here, like storage units up there. But the weirdest thing, look at this. So you can open this, easy, right? You can put stuff in. But you also have a little access compartment. You can open this, and then you can, you know, it goes to the same location. Don't really know what the benefit of something like that is, but it is there. And then a place for glasses here. And one more there. So kind of unique, kind of cool. And you have tons and tons of headroom here, so it doesn't really impede anything. Okay, and I guess the last thing to do is the seats, which, yeah, not the easiest, but I'll show you how it's done. You pull this one as far forward as you can, and then you go to the back. And I guess taking them out is probably a little bit easier than putting them back in, but it's really not that hard to put them back in. Pull the seat up, clip it in, and then pull up here. And now you've got your seat up. And I love when it stores away in an area that you pretty much can't see. And then I'll get into that seat. You have a decent amount of room here. Remember, these ones slide, so you could, of course, have that slid a little bit further forward. Let's just slide this back. And that's absolutely serviceable in the back, even for adults. The front one, that's a little bit tight. Let's move it back a little bit. So that's for sure usable for adults or children. A little bit on the tight side, but definitely usable. And we got more than enough room in the back. A little bit on the tight feeling side, but usually these back seats are used either in an emergency or just for children. They are a little bit narrow. There's nothing in the middle here because the other seat stops there. But you can use this tray to put your things. And yeah, just cool. There aren't very many 3 rows that are this small. And because of its boxy size, it's actually not as tight as you would think it'd be. And then, of course, if you have the seats up, you don't get a ton of room in the back there, but you do get enough to possibly use. And then if you're not using that seat, flip it down, pull this up, and that goes down into there. Actually, that was a lot easier than the first time I did it, now that I know how to do it. Pull that back, this goes down, and then this one you just have to adjust back again because the default is rather straight up and down. Okay, I'll put that in just a second. For now, I'll just leave it out. And this is going to conclude the Sienta, my first time looking at it. And, you know, I've seen so many different cars. But when I see one like this for the first time, I always get excited. It's so fun to just see what was out there. And there's so many weird cars like this, especially from Toyota. Okay, well, that's going to be all for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.